So, after a no-sleep 8-hour flight across the Atlantic, then we got stuck on some 2-hour line for customs where some chick just threw up on the side and it was disgusting, and then people were cutting all over the place. And then we had a tough time finding the Uber, and then we had to wait 3 hours to actually check into our room. We're finally here. It's a pretty awesome room, is it not? Right? They got this big bathtub thing. They got 2 beds. They got this elevating television thing. What? It's an elevating television thing. You got a separate bathroom with separate shower. Big room here. And we're overlooking the city. Barcelona! We're in Barcelona! Alright, I'm getting some rest. We have a spicy Fabled Hunters episode lined up for you, but first, we'd like to ask you for your support.
We're asking for your support for our Patreon for Fabled Hunters. That also goes to support our team, Fabled Runaways.
Fabled Runaways.
We just had a huge score this national season.
You don't say!
We're the U.S. national champs.
Thanks to Charles Dunn of the Fabled Runaways. We had 4 out of 8, 50% of the top 8.
And Singapore,
because of Gordon Co. Let's go, Gordon Co. We're finally making a name for ourselves, and we appreciate everybody's support.
If you want to check out our Patreon, we'll include a link in the description below. For $5 a month, you get access to our, at this point, pretty extensive backlog of videos. We also come out with 2 videos at least every month that talk about personal finances and also the mindset of how to win.
All the proceeds will go to Yuanji and the Runaways. I'm not keeping any of it. I'm also giving my own contribution outside of this channel. So please join us on this journey, and let's go Runaways, everybody. All right. Welcome to Fabled Hunters.
I'm Yuanji.
I'm Saint.
And today we're going to be drinking some stuff.
We're going to be drinking some stuff as usual. This is the end of the year, our year-end celebration of Fabled Hunters, year 3. Always gotta enjoy some nice 1942 tequila.
The Julio.
Mm-hmm.
Don
J.
And for anybody who is unfamiliar, Don Julio is kind of how Fabled Hunters all began.
It is?
Well, it was like the first video. Was
yes. It was featuring some high-end Don Julio and, talking about Flesh and Blood like a fighting game, like Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Right? And love of Flesh and Blood, opening up 100-plus boxes of Alpha Welcome to Wraith.
I think in the past years, we kind of went through all of our videos that we've done, but this year we've done I think a lot of videos as well, and some apart. I wanted to just talk about, you said it would be cool if we combined last month today with what's going on, but instead of talking about last month and the whole TCG world, let's talk about what we've been up to for
the last
month.
Quarter, 4 months, because I think you were preparing for Worlds shortly after Nationals, because we took down U.S. Nationals as a team, Fabled Runaways.
Yeah.
And then it was just intense preparation for Worlds.
Yep.
Because there was, a skirmish season or some sort of season?
Yeah, not like a heavy... there's Worlds and then the Pro Quests.
Yep.
Or there's some Pro Quests, like Battle
Some callings.
Yeah.
Right?
And basically... It was pretty packed, not as packed as it was in previous years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff to do before Worlds and shortly after.
Yep.
And man, hold on, I need to take a sip. I thought that the team's performance at Worlds was disappointing in outcome.
Yep.
But I don't really regret any of the work that we put in. I thought that as a whole the team did a really good job.
Okay.
For the resources we have, and sometimes you win, sometimes you don't win. That's just the nature of card games.
It is. Yep.
And I thought that one thing that we kind of handled really well was our preparation of settling down on which deck that we wanted to play. We figured that out pretty early.
You committed to it.
Yeah, committed to decks early enough in the process, so we felt okay about that.
It was Icelander and Dromite for the most part.
Yeah,
right?
for the most part. And I think everybody felt, we didn't have that last minute, let's say 5 days before the event, I gotta learn how to play like this because I decided to switch. It's good to have that stability. Mm-hmm. And then I think as a whole community, having less time to prepare for Bright Light's draft, it being like a harder draft format. Kind of also threw in some wrenches. But I think as a whole, the team arrived at like strategies that they felt comfortable with.
Great.
For draft. And, I would say that the team did okay. And they were still winning, but not winning at a level that you need, to make top 8.
Yeah, to win Worlds, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little disappointing that none of them made top 8. But then again, no notable names made top 8 outside of Yuki Lee Bender, right?
Yeah, well, Yuki, maybe in North America, you're like, Americanism is showing. The Team Blue Pitch, for the guys out of Hong Kong, they've been, putting a lot of work in the APAC region. So I want to give them recognition because there's not a lot of events in APAC, but they always do pretty well.
Okay.
So I think Alan Lau is their captain. So from one captain to another, congratulations on your team's success.
My bad. I did not know about Team Hong Kong before this time. So to me, they're not known. They're not like on the big list.
They just didn't know.
Yeah,
no, it's okay. Know. We're just ignorant Americans.
yes.
We'll just
chalk it up to American exceptionalism, which I was actually criticizing about. Us having our typical aura of invincibility going into the Worlds, and that's the wrong attitude to have. And I hope that not just the runaways, but everybody in North America approaches the next major with a lot more hesitation and more respect for our adversaries.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, I think, how far as a whole the Flesh and Blood competitive community has grown. It wasn't that long ago where basically New Zealand and Australia were the only countries that had Flesh and Blood players that, were playing at a competent level. Then as the game grew out, America, Canada, and then later on Europe, and now in other regions of the world.
Yeah,
like
and I'm
Japan,
guessing next
Brazil.
next year it's going to be really, really worldwide.
Japan and Brazil are coming on as well. And I think throughout the most part, amongst all of the players that I played at Worlds, this was by far, on average, the most skilled players that I've played against, which kind of makes sense. You're at the Flesh and Blood World Championship. But
the best in the world are going to show up.
But everybody, they know your stuff, so you gotta work real hard to find edges in your game. And so I wanted to kind of commend everybody, all of the competitive Flesh and Blood players all around the world, because I think that everyone did a great job of leveling each of their respective communities up.
Absolutely, and next year's going to be even better because they're increasing the minimum prize pool from $1 million plus to $1.5 million plus.
Yep.
And all I want to see is, I just want to see that prize pool, that purse goes from 2 million to 3 million to 5 million and up, because I see nothing but big things for the game of Flesh and Blood. I always have, and I always, even coming in from day one, saw it as a 5 to 20 year arc of development within this game, because I fell in love with the story, I fell in love with the art. I respected the mechanics, very much, but I wouldn't say I love the mechanics because I respect them very much. I'm not good at the game, but I can respect and appreciate the elegance of how amazing of a game mechanically Flesh and Blood is compared to, the game I used to support, Magic the Gathering, because it's just so much different. It's so much more technical, so much more skill expression is involved, memorization, math on the fly, even poker and reading. And it's just such an amazing game, such a great game to be a part of. And I can now live vicariously through my support of the FaBled Runaways, which I am not a founder, nor am I an owner of, despite what people might assume. I don't know why you need to own an organization that doesn't actually bring in any cash.
They just think you own everything.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
I'm the evil investor that owns everything related to Flesh and Blood.
Oh, speaking of which, it's a catch-22. So if people dislike you for owning everything, but then they also come at you to buy everything, so then you end up owning a lot of things.
It's so strange, right? People try to sell me everything. Everything, literally, they try to sell me.
Yeah,
but then I get hated for owning as much as I do.
Yeah, but moving on, I think the world's experience as a whole was pretty amazing. We had some amazing kind of get-togethers with everybody on the team.
Yeah, we've got content that will or will not make it out by the end of the year. Some of it will make it out at the beginning of next year. Right?
Yeah, and congratulations to Lucas Oswald for taking down the first
Living Legend
Battle Hardened with
runner-up Charles Dunn, our U.S. national champion, and then Gordon Coe, let's fucking go, third place at Living Legends event at Worlds.
So I think we're crutched by Tales of Our Heroes. It is what it is. I am really happy. I feel like 2023 for me was a big arc in starting Runaways in kind of like the very end of 2022, and then spending all of 2023 kind of learning how to help an entire organization of people succeed and try to do as best as you can, and navigating the highs and lows of that process.
Yeah.
We'll talk about 2024 after when we finish our kind of year in review.
For sure.
But that was kind of how my last couple of months has been. I'm trying to do more personally. I'm trying to do more casting because I really enjoy kind of bringing my perspective for seeing the game and letting people kind of in and join me and seeing Flesh and Blood for how deep and beautiful some of these games can end up being.
Yeah, you actually did work for the org in Orlando, was it? Was it a Battle Hardened or a Calling?
Yeah, so in Orlando it was a Battle Hardened. It was I did casting for that. I did casting for another Battle Hardened in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay.
Yeah. So, hoping to move up, and I'm still developing my craft there.
Yep.
And it's fun.
For sure.
I had a lot of fun working on that, and that's kind of how it's been for me. Thane, what about you?
Well, I just have to say, looking back on Outsiders at the beginning of the year, I just didn't have that much time to open Outsiders. And other than the Soul card front boob special, what is? I mean, I call it Redback Shroud. Other than that one card, I didn't really feel a big connection to the hunters or the rangers or the ninjas and the assassins.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I skipped the set. We opened up cards, and a lot of them went to benefit the Runaways in the early days.
Yeah.
Right? But then we went really hard on Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
And then kind of everything was on pause between Pro Tour and Dusk Till Dawn for Nationals and then Worlds. Worlds, I had higher expectations, but I was there just to be moral support and take the team out to encourage them, have nice meals, and just chat with team members one-on-one, help team members, source liquidity for their future events. Because I always try to be like that big brother. It's like, if you're going to sell cards, if you need money for, events, sell them to me first. That's the least I could do because everybody else comes to me anyway, right? So my capital attention goes to the team members first. And it was great filling that role, just talking to people within the team and being a source of moral support and just being there, win or lose, enjoying a meal, breaking bread with a couple of people that have the drive, that want to strive for greatness. Because even me, outside of TCGs, I'm always striving for greatness.
Yep.
And it's great to surround yourself with people that are also pushing forward. And that seems to be the year for me. Other than, we talked about this, I think, off camera, other than the Bright Lights boxes that were opened at LSS headquarters, I do have cases of Bright Lights, but I haven't found a compelling reason to, and I haven't found the time to open Bright Lights.
Sure.
I mean, the reality remains that there's probably 180 cases of Dusk Till Dawn.
One set at a time.
Yes, Dusk Till Dawn that we need to finish, and that set is fire right now, and we committed to opening that. But we have been doing some other content here and there. And in general, I don't know, about the game itself, closing the year on Bright Lights seems a little anticlimactic, but overall, in 2023, I think the arc for Flesh and Blood as a card game is, it's on an upwards trajectory overall. We started the year and continued through the majority of the year better off than I think we ended the year in 2022.
Yeah.
Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but 2022 was the last Channel Fireball event, Worlds.
Yep.
Right? And that was a shit show.
Yep.
And 2023 was not a shit show. They had swag merch for sale at 2023 Worlds. Some parts of it were, not the best organized. I heard some events had some delays in firing off.
Yeah.
But, you know, they had really sick promos. They had a Sagrada Familia promo.
Yeah, a lot of enthusiasm.
Yep.
For these events.
Side events.
I think that in general, even though there were some organizational hiccups. With the event, I think in general the enthusiasm.
Yep.
For playing Flesh and Blood, even like outside the main events, and for like everybody was there, was at an all-time high
for the whole year. At Worlds was an all-time high in terms of attendance and everything,
Yeah.
and the fact that 2,000 plus people would travel to this place. They're presumably not all from Barcelona. They traveled to this place.
Yeah.
And as many Americans, our North Americans did as well, and people from Asia, people from even South America visited, and obviously people congregating from Europe. That is a testament to how much of a global game Flesh and Blood is.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to commend the organized play group led by, I believe, Trevor Baker in Legend Story Studios for the big change, the big facelift on the look and feel of organized play throughout 2023. Because, it's a huge departure from how CFB was running their events,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So, big kudos on the organized play, not just the Worlds, the Pro Tour as well, the U.S. Nationals as well, which we considered very much to be one of the majors of the year.
Yeah.
And next year, from what I remember, there's going to be
two Pro
Tours, one Worlds, and then a fourth U.S. Nationals. So
Yeah.
there's going to be 4 majors, and I'm looking forward to what's going to be going on in first L.A. and then Amsterdam, I think.
Yeah, LA, Amsterdam.
Oh, what, Paris? Or wait, do we know where the second Pro Tour is? Is it Amsterdam?
The second Pro Tour is in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam. Okay. Great. I'm probably going to go to both, and then they don't know where Worlds is, but fingers crossed, I'm thinking Asia somewhere. So,
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah, that would be nice. Let's talk about 2024. I am pretty excited about the direction that the game is going.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in general, a lot of the hero designs, I had a lot of criticism, I think, at the beginning of the year. But I think as we allow the vision for how LSS wants to develop the sets out to mature, I thought stuff like Dash.io, I think when they revealed, the new Kasai, it's just, they're creating a lot of mechanics, a lot of heroes that seem like they're going to be really fun to play. I know a lot of people like Max.
Okay.
And Levia is, picking up steam. Thanks in part to, her cards that she got in Dust Till Dawn. That's a lot of people panned at the beginning. Prism is getting some more attention. And so I think ultimately a lot of things are putting themselves together in the right way.
Okay.
I'm really excited about more events in 2024. I think for a lot of people who don't really get why it's important to have these high level events, it's high level play is only a small portion of all the people who play Flesh and Blood.
Yep.
But you have to understand that the fact that your region of the world now gets a calling, now gets a battle heart, and it's not only the top level players that go to these events, and it doesn't even matter if some of the players don't end up going to the calling. The players who do end up driving more enthusiasm, more excitement to just play armories, play locals, get together on a Wednesday evening to play some Flesh and Blood to practice for upcoming events. And I think having more of these high level events throughout the course of next year is going to be really big for helping generate a lasting enthusiasm for playing the game.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really happy about that personally.
Yep. You're all about the organized play, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
You're a captain of a team, right? I'm a supporter of a team, but at the same time, I really do hope that 2024 will be a year of expansion of casual play. I'm also very excited for the business structure of Legend Story Studios expanding as well.
Yeah.
Because we're going to see the new expansion into their new headquarters in Auckland in January. I believe I'll get a sneak peek
At the
Queenstown at the Celebrational.
Casual play. I hope that they kind of expand, the strides that they made this year with TCC.
Yep. Professor Around the Table, right?
Yeah, Around the Table.
Making Ultimate Pit Fight a little more viable or a little more popular in the public eye.
Yeah.
And introducing more casual players into the game. I don't think UPF is going to be the final manifestation of casual play. I truly believe that PvE will be in the mix somehow, and maybe there will be player-generated formats, similar to how EDH, Elder Dragon Highlander / Commander, was invented in the world of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And we don't only need to leave it up to Legend Story Studios to create those formats, but we can think up formats on how we can cooperate. And,
Oh, that gives me a
play with
video
one
idea
another.
for next year.
Yeah?
I have an idea.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. And like, what do you hope to see in terms of like game characters, etc.
Well,
next year?
Okay, that's an easy one because Heavy Hitters, which is coming out in January, is going to be a throwback to Welcome to Wraith.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be Brute. It's going to be
Brute, Warrior,
and Guardian.
Yeah.
Everything but the Ninja. And we've seen enough of Ninja, right? We've seen enough of Ninja from Outsiders. We've seen enough of Ninja from Fi and Uprising. Although I like Fi. I like Katsu too. But these three, I want to see more Dory. I want to see Dory back at it. I want to see how Kasai plays because I've always been respectful of what Kasai can do in Blitz, and I've fought against Kasai's in Blitz before. And I think that's a very impressive hero. Now with the gold token interaction, now Kasai can be like a summoner, similar to like a necromancer where she can summon an army.
Raising an army.
Raising an army.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'd like to see Dory be viable again. I think I picked right, my favorite hero being Dory. Everybody seems to say that Dory is the most fair hero in Flesh and Blood. And even you said like the Dory level up mechanic seems to be really great.
Yeah.
And there seems to be some workarounds, like there's that, interaction with the Arsenal, the blue pitch card that came out in the recent set.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of the card was.
Emboldened Blade.
Emboldened Blade, yep. That's seeing some pickup. I just want Dory to get something that doesn't make her like unfair or broken, but I mean,
just
something
go all the way.
tune.
I hope Dory gets broken next year. Just absolutely busted.
No, I wouldn't want her to get busted. I would want Dory, old school Dory, to be viable.
Yeah.
But I still want to see like a Monarch 3 where you see a
Like the conclusion?
heightened talent Dory, like a Dory with a talent, like a supercharged up Dory. So sort of like a little progression where
maybe we'll
she can get some LL points in her OG format because I love the art, both versions of the art from Liu's Lasahido, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll have the conclusion of the War of the Monarch.
Yeah, War of the Monarch with Dory, as a light warrior, right?
Yeah. In general, there's a lot of things that I am hopeful for next year.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, like, for Runaways, our plan next year is to kind of be more focused with our content. We really want to try to bring more new players on board.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a focus on just being more welcoming to that side of the community, creating better tools for players who want to like try their hand at learning how to play Flesh and Blood, like actually learn how to play Flesh and Blood, and for people who want to try to get into the game but they don't know what the best way is moving forward. We hope to become a resource for the community.
Yeah, support the Runaways. We are.
Yeah, in that regard. And so kind of like you're like the gateway for like Flesh and Blood collectors.
We want.
Well,
I'm supposedly the gateway for Flesh and Blood market manipulation, right? Because
of course.
every single time there's
it's
a spike.
two part effort.
Yeah.
I'll give you the goods.
Yes. Whatever insider information you have from the playability, you're gonna give me the goods.
Yeah.
Like give me the lowdown because you're gonna market manipulate the meta, and that's gonna encourage me to do buyouts.
They're like, buy these cards.
Oh, Emboldened Blade from $2 to $8, Saint. You can quadruple your money. Their loss is your gain. Their loss is your gain.
Yeah, but in general, I hope that we can all play a part. You guys who are watching, and everyone in helping making Flesh and Blood in 2024, even better than Flesh and Blood is ending in 2023.
Absolutely. And to close out my thoughts about the year in general and the upcoming year, I just have to say that we have had such a rough year. I think 2023, for the, ups and downs of Flesh and Blood collecting, has been even rougher than the worst parts of 2021, which I called it, Fab Winter myself, winter of 2021. And then 2022, we had, the fuckery from Channel Fireball and the Worlds, and fuckery with PCG.
Yeah.
with Channel Fireball, Card Shop Live, and thankfully we were able to survive past all that. But I mean, we saw a little uptick in April, May of 2023 with the Baltimore Pro Tour, but then there's just a lot of, decline because we've got some macro issues, we've got some macroeconomic issues hurting the masses, the people that, spend their hard-earned time and money to support games like Flesh and Blood. And it's been really, really rough. And when there are really rough times, it's so easy to be negative, and I just have seen a wave of negativity between that first Pro Tour and Worlds that has permeated the community. Yeah. And, unlike a game like Magic the Gathering, I actually believe in this community. Magic the Gathering, I can editorialize it, but I don't actually believe they have a community. They have people that are trying to make money off of each other. They've got pillars of the community that are corrupt as hell and are trying to make money off of other people. Yeah. Whereas I think we've cleaned up this market of Flesh and Blood, despite being accused of market manipulating, $8,000 or $10,000 worth of cards to try to make what, 20, 30,000? No, this community has been pretty diligent about keeping the bad elements out, about identifying the bad actors, and about not welcoming, investor bros that are here just for money. And there is barely any, content creators that are like, oh, this is to the moon or this is that. Obviously, there are market watchers who try to diligently watch the market within reason and report on things that go up and down. And that is usually correlated to playability and correlated to the meta and correlated to what's competitive. Yeah. But there's nothing crazy like, oh, I think Heart of Findulge are going to $100,000 and those crypto bro type of attitudes are already out. That said, it makes for a not very exciting market. Yeah. But it's these not very exciting markets that are, in a downward slope that's where you can really get in and collect the pieces you've really always wanted. Yeah. And it's during these times that you've got to make your moves. You've got to steel yourself and say, look, these are very scarce resources. Do I really believe in the game? If you're watching this content in the depths of winter 2023, then hopefully you've got some hope that Flesh and Blood is going to make it past 2024 and maybe beyond. And now would be the time to splurge for those rainbow foil, FaBleds, or even some of the low end to medium cold foil FaBleds, or if you have it within your range, hopefully after I'm done collecting my fair share, even the shard, the eye, and the heart in cold foil, if that's within your acquisition targets.
And to you, who's watching this video in 2033.
Yes, the people that will continue supporting this game.
Yes, Everfest was indeed $50. You could buy it for $50 a box. And yes. You could buy Tales of Aria for $50 a box. Yep. And
you could actually buy Everfest for like $42 a box right now.
Yeah,
maybe even $40.
Yeah. So to those of you in 2033, crazy world, right?
Absolutely. So we just want to keep the faith as we have another year. We're looking to commit to the game of Flesh and Blood for at least another year, the year of 2024. And we hope that you can continue supporting us, continue supporting the FaBled Runaways, support Fab in North America. But for those of you not in North America, support Flesh and Blood worldwide, do your part, support your local game store, because it's really, really tough with the other, oppressive conditions that are brought about by the TCGs that are inferior to the game of Flesh and Blood. So that said, I think we're about to wrap up the year. I've got a flight to catch, probably 15 minutes late. Cheers, bottoms up, and hope you guys enjoy your 2024. Take care, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, twiddle that notification button. Support us on Patreon, because the funds go to FaBled Runaways. Support Flesh and Blood North America, and let's go Runaways, everybody.
Where you at, Saint?
Do it for the collectors, man.
Now, what's great saying about when I was reading your bio about this, you're talking about what your favorite card was, and it wasn't even about, you know, what your most coveted piece in your collection is. It wasn't like, oh, I got this super rare thing, this super valuable thing. Can you tell everybody what your most coveted piece in your collection is?
My BGS10 red stripe, or actually pink stripe snatch card from WTR Alpha. Because pink snatch is the best snatch!
That's why we're 16 plus on this game.
We're gonna make it up to Alex for content creating. I literally have to get on a plane in about 30 minutes or leave for a flight in 30 minutes. And we owe him a song. 1, 2, 3, go.
What shall we do with a drunken wager? What shall we do with a drunken wager? What shall we do with a drunken wager?
In the deathmatch arena? A gladiator's work is never done. We'll fight for fame and gold till the setting sun. Life and limb, we'll put it all at stake. But it's worth it when you see the take. With a wage of vigor and a wage of might, a hero finds a righteous fight. With a wage of agility, a wage of gold, a hero's story will soon be told. So smash your ale horn back with a pint of strong and stout. Get your goblet of blood-run wine a-flowing, 'cause that's what heavy hitting's all about. What shall we do with a drunken wager? What shall we do with a drunken wager? What shall we do with a drunken wager in the deathmatch arena? All right, so we got past that.